What's up, guys? I'm back with the same massive mod showcase. It's big, it's cool, it's the 4-part. This is part 2 of 4 for the creator of Paramano 95. The mod that adds over 300 pieces. Oh my god, 350 pieces of equipment into the game. And to go through it all, you guys saw the first video. If you didn't, it's pretty much adding a bunch of shit. Goated stuff. You can download a roleplay version if you want to find it throughout the game, or download the cheap version, which you will get all the gear in the tutorial chest. I got the cheap version so I could do these videos. My playthrough, I'm gonna have the roleplay versions. But yeah, for my second video today, we're focusing on the next mod in his series, the Master Cloaks. This mod adds a total of 100 into the game, with a total of 15 legendary, 20 very rares, 35 rares, and 30 commons. And yes, I did do the math just to be sure I got it right. And like the jewelry mod, each one has its own effects. And just like before, I plan to go through it all because why not ruin my vocal cords when I'm feeling sick? I'm really doing this because the grind is real. My love for content is. Starting from top to bottom this time. Starting with the uncommons, we have the Master Cloak of Fortitude, saving throws +1. Master Cloak of Acumen, set the wearer's intelligence to 12. It has no effect if the score goes higher without it. Master Cloak of Worship, religion +1. Master Cloak of Huntsman, advantage on survival. Master Cloak of the Assassin, advantage on stealth. Master Cloak of Wind, armor class +1. Master Cloak of Patience, constitution +1 up to 15. Master's Cloak of Wellness, you gain +5 to your max HP. This effect scales with level. Master's Cloak of Elemental Resistant, you take 2 less damage from cold, fire, and lightning. Master's Cloak of Sunshine, the cloak imbues you with the light that helps you see in the dark at distances up to 40 feet, but not magical darkness. Master's Cloak of Focus, concentrating on a spell gives you +2 AC. Master's Cloak of the Highlander, as long as you are not wearing armor, acrobatics and athletics are increased by 1. Master Cloak of Tirelessness, when entering combat wounded, you gain a +2 to initiative. Master's Cloak of the Ifrit, starting to burn, you gain resistance to fire damage. The first and last burn damage will deal full damage. Jesus. Master Cloak of Battle Serenity. When taking damage from an enemy, there is a 20% chance to recover 1 key point. This would be nice for monks. Master's Cloak of the Puma. Puma shoes, baby. Performing a jump, you restore all movement points with an 18% chance. Master's Cloak of Discipline. By becoming surprised, you immediately remove this effect with a 50% chance, which means you won't be caught. Master's Cloak of the Mountain Beast. Attack rolls against you have disadvantage every turn in combat. You must save a con save of 15 or be petrified forever. Market the Mountain Fox. If you succeed the con save in combat, you remove the petrification, so there is a chance. Master's Cloak of Hope. When you are hit with the critical strike, you regain 1d4 +1 hit points. This effect scales with you. Don't know if it scales with level 20 mods. Master Cloak of Thunderfist. If you are hit by a melee weapon, the attacker with a 30% chance takes 1 thunder damage and gets stunned. Master's Cloak of the Frog. You jump 13 feet farther out of the water surface. That sounds nice. Master's Cloak of Beauty, charisma +1 while you're not in combat. Master's Cloak of Invigorating Spark. As long as you have lightning charges, your maximum HP is increased by 15%. Master's Cloak of Last Desire. As long as your hit points is less than 20%, you gain +3 to saving throws. It scales with your level. Master's Cloak of Diligence. Skill checks are +1. Master's Cloak of Gnome Secrets. Constructs suffer disadvantages on attack rolls against you, which will go crazy against the Steel Watch. Master's Cloak of the Buffalo. You can carry 15% more weight. Actually, I never put these on. I should probably put them on. Master's Cloak of the Healing Flow. When casting a spell, you restore 2 hit points to yourself with a 30% chance this effect scales with you. Master's Cloak of Good Soul. When you are healed, there's a 20% chance you restore 1 level 1 spell slot. Master's Cloak of the Myconid. Fungal spores have no effect on you. And that's it for the uncommons. Now we're on to the next one, our rares. Oh my god, 35 rares. They have more than the uncommons. Gotta take a chug of water. Keep my throat healthy to not destroy my vocal cords. Here we go. Starting with the rares, we have the Master Cloak of Depth Surge. When an enemy attacks you, there's a 30% chance of releasing deadly necrotic energy that will deal 1 damage or necrotic damage to you and the enemy. Scales with your level, so you can do 12. Master's Cloak of the Swamp Toad. When becoming poisoned, you remove this effect with a 50% chance of restore 1d4 HP. Master's Cloak of the Fierce Mysteries. Once per short rest, you gain Arcane Acuity for 3 turns at the start of combat. Master's Cloak of Smoldering Embers. You become resistant to fire damage when moving across an ash-covered surface in combat. You gain heat for 2 turns with a 50% chance this effect can only be triggered once, and I think heat is already in the game. Yeah, and go by a Vengeful Fire, take 1d4 fire damage, but you can use heat convergence. Consume your heat to feel a powerful attack. The next time you deal fire damage, you deal an additional fire damage. Here we go. Master Cloak of Sacrifice. When your allies deal more than 5 damage to you, they regain 1d20 hit points. That's crazy. That'd be good for a tank. Master's Cloak of Healing Wind. When an enemy misses you, there's a 70% chance you gain Healing Wind for 3 turns. Healing Wind does regain 2d8 or 2d4 hit points. The effect fades when you take damage, but that's at the end of each of your turns. Master's Cloak of Flaming Shield. While affected by burning, you gain Flaming Shield, which I think is just that 3rd level spell in the game. You gain resist the bludgeoning, slicing, and piercing. No, it does not. It's a completely different thing. Ooh. Master's Cloak of Endearing Spirit. While down, you gain Unbreakable Tenacity for 3 turns. Plus 3 to death saving throws. This effect scales with your level. Master's Cloak of Blazing Radiance. When an enemy deals you a necrotic damage, you gain Furious Light for 2 turns. Your C is increased by 1, but you take 2 radiant at the start of each of your turns. This effect is stackable. Be careful. Master's Cloak of Magic Suppression. When an enemy casts a spell on you, there's a 50% chance he gets Magic Suppression, which, you know, they probably can't cast spells, right? Their spell save DC is -3, and they take 1 psychic damage at the start of each of their turns. Master's Cloak of the Frost Amplification. When an enemy deals cold, lightning, or fire to you, you gain Wild Frost, which does... Your next attack deals cold damage, and it deals an additional 3. It scales with you, which is crazy. Master's Cloak of the Gray Hair. Performing a jump in combat, you gain Blood Rush for 2 turns. Your hit points increase by 1 for each stack of this effect, so you just keep hopping. Master's Cloak of Odd Dreams. After a long rest, you have a 30% chance of getting Twisted Dreams or Desperate Dreams for 20 turns. Gotta chug this water. You regain 5 hit points at the end of each of your turns, but suffer disadvantage on Intel, Wiz, and Charisma saving throws. The effect of healing scales for Twisted Dreams. Desperate Dreams, you gain advantage on attack rolls, but your match XP is reduced by 50%. Okay, so my HP would be 12 right now. Master Cloak of the Cave Ogre. When you are shoved, you become a giant for 2 turns. Okay. Yep. Master's Cloak of the Arena Skirmisher. At the end of combat, there's a 60% chance that you recover all your supporty dice if you're in your fighter. Master Cloak of the Champion. At the end of combat, there's a 55% chance you recover all your oath charges for your paladin. Master's Cloak of Transformation. There's 70% chance you recover all your wild shape. Oh, that's nice. Master's Cloak of Force Resistance. You gain resistance to force damage. Simple, clean, effective. Master's Cloak of the Grasshopper. While you are not in combat, the range of jump is doubled. Give that to Gale so he can jump with you. Master's Cloak of the Peacock. Performance +3. Woo! Master's Cloak of Celestial Intuition. Skill check is +2. Raw ability is +2. When it says raw ability, I had another mod. It might not scale your things. Where's it at? Yeah, if it has raw ability, I don't think it scales your thing. So right now, if he didn't add raw there, I think the mod would have bumped your skills. Master's Cloak of the Cat. +1d6 to stealth checks. Master's Cloak of the String. Dexterity +2 up to 16. Master's Cloak of the Polar Wolf. Your con is set to 17. It has no effect if your con can go higher without it. Master's Cloak of Persistence. Con +2 up to 18. Master's Cloak of the Prince. Your charisma goes to 16. It has no effect if it goes higher without it. Master's Cloak of the Astral Raven. Intel +1 up to 20 for Gale. Master's Cloak of Endurance. Saving throw +2. Master's Cloak of the Ancient Knight. Advantage on con saving throws. Master's Cloak of Evil Thoughts. While taking radiant damage, you gain Evil Shield for 3 turns. You take 2 less radiant damage and the skill levels with you. Master's Cloak of Feathers. You take no fall damage but lose 2 AC. And yes, you do. Oh, it may be white, but this is the default look at the cloaks. Master's Cloak of the Panda. You increase your maximum hit points by 4, but become vulnerable to all damage as effect scales with your level. I wonder if it's because I'm covered in blood. Master's Cloak of the Fields. You gain an extra bonus action. Master's Cloak of the Blossom. While under sunlight, each turn you gain Mother's Protection and grow flowers under you. Mother's Protection, you gain resistance to necrotic. Your movement speed is halved when you grow flowers under you, so it's kind of a lose-lose. And that's it for the rares. Up next is the very rares. I'm going to take a chug of water, see how long this video is looking to be. Half the time I was at that last video. Oh my god. I don't know how I'm doing this, but man, I'm soldiering through it. Alright. Master's Cloak of the Hummingbird is the very first, very rare one that adds +2 to your AC. Let's see if it changes the color for being very rare. No, it does not, but your AC does go up. Master's Cloak of the Outcast. If you're a drow, gain advantage in deception checks as well as resistance to poisons. That's for your Minthara lovers. Oof. Master's Cloak of Sturdy Stance. You cannot be prone, +2 to saving throws. Crazy ability. Master's Cloak. Got away from my mic. Master's Cloak of Rejuvenation. Diseases, poisons, paralysis, blinding, and curses have no effect on Jesus. Master's Cloak of the Storm Chaser. Standing on an electrified surface, you gain storm protection for 2 turns. You cannot be electrocuted. Lightning damage does not affect you. Does the cloak look cool? Damn. Master's Cloak of the Unburied Soul. If your hit points is less than 35% after taking damage, you gain great invisibility. Entity has advantage on attack rolls. Attack rolls against it have disadvantage. When interacting with item, caster, spell, or attacking, the entity needs to succeed a stealth check to maintain invisibility. It becomes harder with each attempt. Master's Cloak of Sneak Attack. When upon entering combat, you become invisible on your turn. It's pretty much the same thing. Invisibility ends if you attack. Master's Cloak, a superior defense. Casting Stone Skin or Guardians of Faith restore the point spent on them. I don't know what that fully means. Master's Cloak of Intangibility. By casting Misty Step, you restore a bonus action and gain intangibility for 3 turns. +2 to your AC. Crazy. Nice and simple. Master's Cloak of the Wizard Slayer. If you want to kill Gale. By casting Counterspell, you restore points spent on it with a 40% chance. Oh, so your spell level. Your spell slot. Master's Cloak of Dissolution. While in a fog cloud, you gain Dissolution for 2 turns, which is +3 to your AC. Simple, clean, nice. Master's Cloak of the Hydra. You increase your maximum HP by 40 as long as you remain wet. Alright. Master's Cloak of the Wonderment. When taking damage from an enemy spell, both of you regain all hit points with a 50% chance. Attacker's hit points is used as a base. Master's Cloak of Insanity. Well, I like the colors. While dealing melee weapon damage to you, the enemy gets Confusion for 5 turns with a 25% chance, which is with the spell. Master's Cloak of Flash. While dealing damage to you with a ranged weapon, the enemy has a 50% chance to get aggressive flashes for 2 turns. It's -2d4 to attack rolls with ranged weapons. Master's Cloak of Greater Salvation. Saving throw of +3. Master's Cloak of the Turtle. Slashing damage dealt to you is reduced by 7. Nice. Master's Cloak of the Dark Magician. My favorite Yu-Gi-Oh card. Humanoids suffer disadvantage on attack rolls against you. Master's Cloak of the Hunter. Beasts suffer disadvantage rolls against you. Master's Cloak of the Polar Bear. Your cons +3 up to 20. Master's Cloak of the Tiger. Dex up to 18. Has no effect on if it can go higher. Master's Cloak of the Living Shield. Healing yourself with a spell. Once per turn in combat, you gain Living Shield, which is you take 1 necrotic damage less for each stack of this effect. And then for the very rare, Master Cloak of Magma Shield. Lava has no effect on you when you enter it. You gain Magma Shield. +4 to your AC, which means you can fight the lava elemental in the Grimforge without having to lose all your health. Okay, we're down to the last 15. Which I don't think is right. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I'm missing 2. It says there's 100 here. Maybe I hit the wrong number somewhere, but there is 100 because the back says so. I'm wearing one of them, so there you go. All right. And now for the ending of this video, Master Cloak of the Pathfinder. While avoiding an attack, there's a 30% chance that you gain Extraordinary Sense. You gain +1 to Survival and Perception for each stack of this effect. This effect has no duration but may dispel with a 4% chance each turn. Master's Cloak of Preparation. Just like your Batman, when casting a spell, not a cantrip, out of combat, you gain Preparation for 10 turns. You gain +4 to Initiative, which means you're ready to blast. Master's Cloak of Happy Endings. Go to a massage parlor. On a successful saving throw against an enemy attack or spell, you gain Climax. Alright, that's exactly what I thought it would be. For 2 turns up to 50% chance. If the saving throw check rolls 1 or less, you re-roll it until you roll more. But no more than 4 times. The re-roll threshold scales. This would be happy because I've trapped Shadowheart at the Nautiloid so many times. It's not funny. Master's Cloak of Greater Resistance. You become resistant to any damage. Crazy. Broken. Cool. Master's Cloak of Clarity. You are immune to being blind and disperse malicious clouds around you. Don't know what that means. Master's Cloak of the Golem. You can carry twice as much weight and increase your max hit points by 4. The latter effect scales with your level. Master's Cloak of the Shade Shield. You become vulnerable to necrotic damage when an enemy casts a spell against you. You gain Shade Shield. You reflect back damage dealt by fire, lightning, thunder, and force. Magic Missile is gonna get fucked. Master's Cloak of Heaven's Scourge. Or Scourge? However you say it. When an enemy with less than 50% health attacks you, they die immediately with a 25% chance. It triggers once per long rest. Master's Cloak of the Vampire Lord for your sweet, sweet boy Astarion. Dealing a fatal blow to humanoids, goblins, or beasts restores all your hit points with a 60% chance. Maybe your Dark Urge likes that. Master's Cloak of the Mercenary. Your strength is set to 19, your dex is set to 19, but has no effect on if it goes higher. Master's Cloak of Air. Your attacker will be knocked down by a furious burst of wind with a 50% chance. Master's Cloak of the Demigod. Attacks below 8 cannot harm you. And that is it for this mod. There's only 13 legendaries in here. I had to figure out where I went wrong in my counts, but it's too late now. The video is ending at 21 minutes. My throat is wrecked. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy part 2 of this mod series. My next one I think is going to be weapons. And yeah, this may seem like these are going to be like one day each after each other for you guys, but I'm doing this in one sitting, so I'm ruining myself. And it's 2:30 in the morning. I just love the grind. I love content. Alright, thank you guys. Subscribe if you want to. I understand if you don't. Not everybody likes the way I sound. Alright, peace out.